Hi, this video is for parents and grandparents of toddlers and infants. In today's video, with the autofocus running and with poor quality sound, I'm going to be giving you the 42 sounds of spoken American English. So, we'll get started right away. This is the sound of ah in the word bat. The sound of ah is in the word taco. The sound of e is in the word pear. The sound of aw is in the word audio. The sound of b in the word book. K in the word cloud. Ch in the word chicken. D in the word dog. E in the word pet. E in the word deer. E in the word about. F in the word frog. G in the word garden. H in the word hat. I in the word kiss. I in the word pie. J in the word jaw. L in the word lamp. In the word mom. In the word nine. In the word ring. Ah in the word frog. O in the word toe. Oi in the word voice. O in the word book. Ow in the word cloud. P in the word plant. In the word ring. S in the word sun. Sh in the word shoe. T in the word table. Th in the word the. Th in the word tooth. In the word sun. Oo in the word blue. In the word Saturday. V in the word voice. W in the word water. Wh in the word witch. Y in the word yellow. Z in the word zebra. And j in the word garage. Now, the reason this is important is that these are the sounds that we train our ears to recognize when we are listening to other people. If we can't make out the sounds, it changes the meaning of the word, and during the conversation, the flow of the conversation is lost while we try to figure out what the word was that we heard. So, if I'm saying the word boat, but it's mispronounced or I hear it wrong and I hear the word boot, completely changes the sentence. There's a big difference between a boat and a boot. And so if I don't have enough context to understand and switch the words, the communication is broken. And so for very young children, for infants, for toddlers, we have to teach them how to develop an awareness of these sounds. So for those that are already familiar, that very small fraction of a percentage of the adults that have taken speech, they're aware of phonemic awareness. This is having an awareness of the spoken sounds. Well, what we want to do as parents is teach this to our children very early, because a lack of this training causes many types of speech delay that are not attributable or not caused by physical causes. And so the average, or the current listed average of words that a 1-year-old knows is 0 to 3. Well, this is terrible, by the way, 0 to 3. We don't want to go for average, we want to go for best. So for the parents that want the best for their child, the way to get that is to practice these sounds every day, twice a day, with your infant or your toddler. And ideally, as you practice it, you want them to try to say it back to you. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen if you have a 1-month-old baby. But if you start with your 1-month-old baby going over all of these sounds every day, you're going to develop the qualities you need to teach your children. And so it'll be boring. It'll be like going over the alphabet every day, which you'll have to do later. But going over all the sounds like this is exactly what they need. It's exactly what they need because it's consistent and it's the same, and they need to develop this awareness of the sounds anyway. So what most people do is nothing, and the child has to experience these sounds elsewhere in the world, which could take years. And this leads to speech delay because different sounds are not heard and recognized, and then the meaning behind those words changes. This is one of the basic elements of learning a foreign language, which you would go through if you were taking a foreign language class. And so by taking this essential element of learning a foreign language and using it to teach our children their primary language, the learning curve is greatly speeded up. The goal for the end of the first year, the first birthday of your child's life, is to be able to have taught them during that year all 42 of these sounds. It doesn't mean we're going to get that goal reached, but it does mean that is our goal, so that we practice and do all the things that we need to do as parents to provide those opportunities for our children to hear these sounds over and over again, slow enough and repeated enough that they can develop the memories of what each of these sounds sounds like for them to experience. Because then they can try to copy that sound, and they'll be able to copy it because they've heard it so many times that they can almost replay it in their head. And that's the element that's needed before they start speaking. If I was to teach you French or Chinese or German and you didn't have the sounds right, you're not going to get the words right either. Nobody will. But by tuning our ear to recognize these sounds, we then develop the ability to mimic those sounds, similar to the way birds mimic other sounds. Birds can even mimic speech, but they don't have any understanding of the words. It takes birds far less than a year to learn how to mimic human speech through repetition. But the added advantage we have as people is that we have meanings behind these sounds at some point. So our very first goal, like I said, is to practice each day getting all the sounds right. Now the two ways to do that, the way to start out is just to start out saying the words, because we're going to automatically make the sound right by saying the word. Some of the words, like the vowels, like in the ah sound and talk, the vowels we can say by themselves. You can say e or ah, you can say ah, o, but for the consonants it doesn't work that well. So we have to put it along with a vowel somewhere so that we can get the sound right. Because in dog, the consonant for the D sound is just for a fraction of a second, dog. But when we try to say it by itself, it's like duh. The word is not dog, it's just dog. So it's really going to help out to actually use the words for the consonants and not so much for the vowels. This is from a brochure I made about 20 years ago to teach phonics to grade school kids. And I'm putting it back here now because it's in a good format. I don't need to type it up again. I guess the last part of this would be, I have to develop my video quality here. I apologize for the sound. I can't really trace it out. I think it's coming from the camera itself. But I hope this lesson helps. It's extremely valuable as a lesson. I'm trying to build awareness of just how necessary this is. Somebody wrote on Quora, and they mentioned that their neighbor taught their 1-year-old sign language. That's an excellent idea. Learning sign language is a beautiful, wonderful experience, and I strongly advocate it. It will not remove the necessity of learning these sounds for your child, because sign language doesn't work on the phone, and there's not a lot of in-person communication for technical words that you can use for it. But it's an excellent first step. But we can actually begin teaching the sounds even earlier, because this is a passive learning. It doesn't require any motor skills, just listening. And then when your child develops those motor skills, they'll be able to do sign language, or they'll be able to start repeating the sounds back to you. They can learn what the sounds sound like long before they'll be able to talk. And that's the object of that. So thank you for your time. I hope this has been helpful, and see you next time.